Welcome back, folks. I'm Frizz, and today I'd like to take some time to talk about the Firebrands Lost Omens book that was recently released. I don't normally talk about the Lost Omens books all that much on this channel, because I don't actually subscribe to the Lost Omen lines of books, but I've gotta talk about the Firebrands. I can't talk about the lore in the book since I don't have it, but the mechanics provided by it that are on Archives of Nethys are exactly the sort of thing that Pathfinder 2e needs. At first glance, it doesn't look like there's all that much mechanically in Firebrands. Unlike a lot of the books that Paizo puts out, there aren't any new archetypes, but I'm of the opinion that that's actually a really good thing. I know that that's surprising considering how frequently I gush about archetypes on this channel, but hear me out here. Rather than releasing new archetypes in Firebrands, Paizo instead added 2 old archetypes with a ton of new feats. Tons of archetypes got multiple new feats in this book, and that's huge. I mean, yeah, some of the feats are available to multiple archetypes, but it still adds a ton of personality to a bunch of archetypes that really needed it. And I do mean that a lot of these archetypes really needed it. While Firebrands didn't add any new archetypes, it breathed life into a lot of pre-existing ones. As an example, the celebrity and pirate archetypes were probably 2 of the weakest archetypes in the entire game. But with the new feats, they're actually pretty fantastic. Like, as an example, the celebrity archetype had a couple of situational feats that might be useful in combat, but it'd be really infrequent and they aren't actually that good in those circumstances. Now though, the Acknowledged Fan feat allows them to debuff targets using diplomacy and apply the stun condition, which is incredibly powerful, and it's also hilarious. It honestly feels like the celebrity, dandy, gladiator, and pirate are just new archetypes now, even though they've been out for a couple of years now. Enhancing pre-existing archetypes is amazing for a couple of reasons, but the main one is that it makes 2e more approachable. With every new archetype that Paizo adds in 2e, the longer the list gets that players have to read through to try and figure out if any archetype that's out fits their character concept. And that list is already really long. By giving more substance to existing archetypes, it helps those archetypes become more viable, and it helps players by making existing options better rather than just making decision paralysis into more of a problem. I know that I personally am perfectly happy to read through very long lists of archetypes, but I know that that's not necessarily a common trait for new players. Firebrands didn't just add new archetype feats though. There are also some new skill and class feats. While they won't fit every character, which is just, how skill and class feats work, if Paizo continues to release a couple of new skill feats and class feats with every book, then that's going to really help out the system. I've said this a lot, but I think that what 2e needs the most is more skill and general feats, and gradually releasing them with every book is going to be the best way to approach the issue. Plus, all of the skill and class feats are pretty great, and also pretty funny. Additionally, while I don't have all that much to say about them really, as this video isn't really about them, all of the new spells added in the Firebrands book are wonderful. They are honestly hilarious, and a lot of them are actually really good. Like, Firework Blast does less damage than Fireball, but it has a chance to blind enemies, which is actually pretty fantastic. They're just a lot of fun options, and I'm always down for that. This isn't the only time that Paizo has taken this approach to a Lost Omens book, but it's my favorite execution yet. They have breathed life into multiple archetypes and given a lot of really hilarious abilities that I think a lot of PCs are going to want. Seriously, if you want to play an over-the-top, charismatic, glorious bastard, then this is the book for you. And to be clear, I'm not being derogatory with that statement. And also, let's be real here, an over-the-top, charismatic, glorious bastard is just a staple part of TTRPGs, and Firebrands makes them so much better. Thanks for watching. I've had a lot of technical difficulties the past week, but thankfully it seems like they're behind me now. Well, let me know, what do you think about the Firebrands book, and what is your new favorite feat? Mine has gotta be Acknowledged Fan, because it's just amazing. But let me know in a comment down below, and while you're down there, please consider subscribing or joining the channel as a member. Being a member is the best way to help me keep making these videos, and it means a lot to me. Regardless, until I see you next, live a wonderful life.